welcome to another day of our yoga challenge. Thank you again for joining me. Hopefully you are enjoying this series of short yoga practices. Today we're going to start kneeling, so come to kneel. So all fours, tabletop position. Let's stack the wrists under the shoulders, the knees come underneath the hips and tops of the feet are resting on the floor. So we're just going to start engaging the navel lock, drawing the navel up towards the spine, strong in the core. And while we're here, we just close the eyes. Try to keep the head reaching away from the body, so your nose is pointed down at the ground so your neck stays in line with the spine. Start to connect to your breath, listening to the sound of your inhalation and exhalation. Start to lift up as you inhale, just through the upper back. So you're pressing the hands into the floor and separating the shoulder blades. As you exhale, draw the shoulder blades together, so the chest is coming a little bit more towards the floor. Inhale as you press into the floor, separating the shoulder blades. Exhale to lower. So it's just a very little movement, but you're moving with your breath and keeping the belly engaged. Feel the movement in the upper back. One more time. And then holding here, flicker the eyes open, gazing towards the ground. As you inhale, take the gaze forward and ahead for a cow pose. As you tuck the chin in, round into cat, pressing again the floor away from you. Inhale, taking the gaze forward and ahead. Exhale to round. One more time, moving with your breath. And then finishing there in a tabletop position, back to a flat back. Take the top of the right foot and turn it just slightly out at an angle, so it's coming out to the side. Make sure the right wrist stays underneath the right shoulder as you now start to straighten the left leg out. So you're rotating, left hand comes onto the hip. Holding here, make sure you're not collapsing in the shoulder, keep pressing the floor away and keep lifting through the waist. Continue with your breath, keep the belly engaged. Option to float the hand up in line with the shoulder palm faces forward. Option to also now start to float the left leg up. Toes are flexed, pointing forward, so the same way as the chest. Finding your balance. And then lower the leg. Reach the arm forward and back down to the floor. Knee comes back underneath the hip. And we take the top of the foot back in line with the knee. Pressing back, extended child's pose, sliding the hands forward, melting the chest down, pressing the bottom back towards the heels. Coming back up, take the wrists and slide them back underneath the shoulders. So the same leg, so we're taking the top of the right foot out at an angle and we're extending the left leg long. This time if you want, you can reach the left arm up straight away. And then float the left leg up. So in line with the hip, it doesn't want to be any higher. And you can stay there, or this time you can reach around, take hold of the ankle if that's comfortable for you, drawing the heel in towards the bottom. Feeling the stretch in the top of the thigh, gazing slightly up if that's okay for your neck. Slowly releasing the leg now, foot is flexed. And then we take the hand back down to the mat, the knee comes back down to the mat, and we realign the top of the right foot in line with the knee. Tucking all of the toes, lifting the hips up, downward dog. Pressing the bottom back, keep a soft bend in the knees, and start to pedal through the feet. So we're pressing one heel down and then the other. Keep the navel lock engaged. Try to have the ears in line with the upper arms. Just pedaling through the feet a couple more times. And then rebend the knees, take them back down to the mat, and we'll go to the other side. So we untuck the toes, we turn the left foot out to the side, keep the left wrist stacked underneath your shoulder here as you rotate. Right hand comes to the waist. Rotating your chest to the side, press into the hand, don't collapse in the shoulder. Option to take the right hand up, reaching the fingertips up, and then option if you want to float the right leg up. Let that foot come back down to the floor, spiral the arm up and over, taking it back down. And then realign the knees and press back into your extended child's pose. Slide the hands forward, see if you can melt the chest a little bit further this time. Coming back up, realign the wrists underneath the shoulders. Turn the top of the left foot out to the side. Take the weight into your left hand. Lift the right arm up, float the right leg up. Either holding here or taking hold of the ankle, pulling the heel in towards the bottom, pushing the hips slightly forward until you can feel a stretch in the top of the right thigh. One more breath. And then release, arm and leg back to straight, foot is flexed, hand comes up and over, back down to the floor. Knees align back under hips, we tuck the toes, lift the hips up, back into our downward dog. Readjust the feet as you need to. This time we'll stay in stillness, so you can have quite a deep bend in the knees if you want to, until you can feel the spine straightening more. So you really want that length in the spine here. Sometimes it helps to start with really bent knees, feel the length in the spine, and then see if you can keep that shape in the spine as you then start to slowly straighten your legs a little bit more. As you inhale, raise up high onto the toes, stay on the toes, feel the stretch in the soles of the feet. On your next exhalation, lower the heels, moving with the breath now. Inhale up onto the toes. Exhale to lower. Inhaling, lift. Exhaling, lower. One more time, inhale. And exhale. So now we lift up onto the toes again. We take the weight a bit more forward. And then we take the top of the left foot behind the right wrist. Top of the right foot behind the left wrist, and that brings us to a nice seated position. And then we're just going to come to laying down. So laying down on the mat, I want you to have your knees bent and take the feet together and the knees together. So just position yourself on the mat so that your back is pressing into the floor, your shoulders are also pressing into the floor. And then we reach the hands up. So similar to what we did with the shoulders when we was in our tabletop position. So we're just going to lift the fingers up to the floor. We're keeping the head down, but the shoulders lift away from the ground. So we're separating the shoulder blades. And then as you exhale, lower the shoulders back down onto the mat. Inhale, lifting up, and exhale, lowering down. Inhale, And exhale. Keep the belly engaged. Keep moving with your breath. You've just got one more, working into the upper back and then holding there. So now I want you to keep the legs together, the feet together, and we're just going to let the knees fall down to the right, and as we do this we open the left arm and we turn the gaze to the left hand, and then slowly bring the hand back up, bring the knees back up. Let the knees now fall to your left. You open the right arm out, turn your head to look to your right. Inhale as you bring everything back up. Exhale, open your left arm, your knees fall to the right. Inhaling back to center, keeping this going, just moving from side to side and trying to keep the knees together as you do this. No need to rush this movement, just getting a lovely spinal twist here. Making this your final one, finishing at the top, taking the hands back down to the mat, coming into a bridge pose, so take your feet a little bit wider now, so hip distance apart. The hands press into the floor, we tilt the pelvis first, so you're imprinting the lower back, and then rolling up through the spine, coming up high into your bridge, your ski slope position. Careful the knees don't flare out like this. Keep them in line with the hips, tracking over the ankles. Lift the hips up high. Press the hands into the floor. You can activate the arms here. Feel the triceps working, the forearms, pressing the arms down. And now slowly starting to roll back down, gradually coming down onto the mat. Your pelvis is the last thing to place back down. And then we draw the right knee into the chest, giving it a squeeze, extend the left leg long, point the left toes away. Rebend the left leg, place the right foot down, draw the left knee into the chest, squeeze it in, extend the right leg long, pointing the toes away. And then rebend that knee, foot comes down, take the soles of the feet together, and then let the knees fall open, the hands rest on the belly, and we close our eyes. Let the belly go soft now, no longer do you need to hold that navel lock. Let the knees just relax open. Let the body just sink down, melting into the floor with each exhalation. Just completely surrender your body now into a relaxed state. Just taking a few minutes to enjoy stillness.